Dr. Charlton, welcome in Brussels at the Committee of the Regions. You're invited here to attend the open days of the committee and to talk about the Beacon project and about biorefining technologies. Now, maybe you should first start explaining what exactly are biorefining technologies.
Okay, I think as a starting point, it's important to recognise that as consumers, most of the products that we use in our everyday lives are produced from fossil fuels, things like crude oil. So I'm thinking about things like the fuel we put in the car, the energy we burn in our homes, the clothes we wear, the cosmetics and personal care products we use, even the food packaging we buy in the supermarkets are derived from crude oil. I think there's a growing recognition that we need to move away from fossil fuel feedstocks and move to more sustainable feedstocks. And the concept of biorefining is to take sustainably grown plant material and through a series of chemical and other processing steps produce a range of chemicals, fuels and bio-based materials which can offer real alternative to conventional fossil fuel derived materials.
And Beacon is then set up to strengthen the links between the academic expertise that you've built up and the industries in mainly
Absolutely,
Wales?
yes. So Beacon is a partnership between 3 universities in Wales at Aberystwyth, Bangor and Swansea, and we have experts in industrial biotechnology, plant biology, chemistry and bio-based materials. And the aim really is to take that underpinning scientific excellence and bring that all together into a single consortium as a focal point for companies to link into. So the aim of the 5-year project is to work with about 200 companies to offer them low-risk solutions for some of their technology problems. So the big thing for the Beacon project is, in terms of capacity building, is not just in recruiting new staff, generating new jobs in industrial biotechnology, but it's about developing processes at what's called pilot scale. So it's that intermediate step between the laboratory and full commercial scale. So that's the riskiest part of the innovation process really, and to enable companies to access that wide range of scientific expertise in a low risk way is very important.
Mm-hmm. In the framework of Europe 2020 strategy, bioeconomy is taking a big amount of attention. The set of goals that Beacon set up, how can they be linked to the Europe 2020 strategy?
Okay, so one of the big grand challenges thinking about Horizon 2020 is the low carbon environment. So Beacon is set up to try and the big thing about Beacon is supply chain building. So what we're trying to do is get a network, ideally, of biomass producers, processors and industrial end users. So as I said earlier, the big risk for any company is bridging that innovation gap, so it's going from the laboratory to full commercial scale. So it's extremely important that companies have access to technologies which are low carbon based, moving away from some of the conventional chemical technologies which use materials derived from fossil fuels, and using those low carbon technologies to find solutions to their business problems. So it's not just about the technologies themselves that are sustainable, but also the feedstocks we're using. So we have a range of both marine and terrestrial biomass feedstocks, everything from things like ryegrass to things like miscanthus, which is an energy crop, through to marine algae. So we are not constrained by particular feedstocks, but we try and tailor those feedstocks to the requirements of the companies we're working with.
And do you have the impression that Europe, that the world, that the European Union is ready for biotechnology? How far are we in the public opinion?
I think as a starting point, there are 2 options. You either do nothing or realise that there's a need to move away from fossil fuel feedstocks. So I think we're very well set up in Beacon to help on that agenda. We have involvement at networks at a Welsh level, a UK level and a European level, and all the networks we're involved in are saying the same thing, that there is that need to move to sustainable chemicals, fuels and materials that can be produced in a meaningful way from plant material that doesn't impact on food production. So from a Welsh perspective, we're very interested in looking at feedstocks that we can grow on existing land areas. So one example is our high sugar ryegrasses, which have been grown for generations in Wales. The farmers understand the technology behind the harvesting, the cultivation, and we can take those high sugar ryegrasses without impacting the biodiversity or the current economic activity that's taking place in those regions. And as I said, through a series of fermentation and other conversion processes, we can take those feedstocks and add value through the production of a series of new products.
And this is helping you to get also the public opinion on your side?
Absolutely, public engagement is a really big thing for us. I'm conscious that it is a difficult concept for people to get their heads around. I mean, at a simple level, the analogy is with the oil refinery, where you take crude oil and through a series of processing steps, you generate your domestic heating fuel, aviation fuel, and all the other products associated. So transferring that from a fossil fuel source to a plant source is a difficult concept, and it does require a multidisciplinary team, and that's why we're so well set up in Beacon. We have an extremely talented group of about 80 people working on this project, and a big part of what we do is public engagement. So we spend a lot of time talking to school kids. We go to public events where we can try and disseminate the basic concept of what biorefining is about, really, and we're happy to try and dispel some of the myths that are out there.
And you were also invited in Brussels for the RegioStars Awards 2014, yes. So you were nominated. Is that an important step in the recognition of the project?
It's fantastic. It's a testament to the hard work of many people over the last 5 or 6 years, not just to get the funding, but to sort of work directly with companies to sort of try and translate some of that technology. So it's great recognition, and it tells us we're doing something right, which is great.
What's the future for Beacon?
I think there are a number of challenges. One is to engage with farmers to find local solutions for diversification in the rural economy, so really thinking about new job creation, finding how farmers can work together at a local level to produce enough biomass to feed into the processes. There are a number of engineering challenges in terms of grouping these technologies together in a meaningful way to actually produce commercial products. And then I'd say the other big challenge is education. You know, we're keen to get kids engaged with this sort of science to see how it works on a practical level, because they're the scientists and engineers of the future. If you can't get kids engaged with science, you're failing badly. And I think the teaching of science in a classroom environment can be not as exciting as it could be. We'd like to do more outreach work with kids, so take them to some of our facilities, show them how you can go from a piece of plant material through to a chemical or a fuel or an everyday type of packaging material that we use for food applications, for example. So those are three of the main challenges, I guess.
I wish you all the best with it. Thank you very much for joining us here in Brussels.
Thank you.